Welcome to the Dark Mark Show. It's the lighter side of the dark side, your Thursday night freak show. I'm here in the studio with three camera-shy rock stars tonight. It's great to be back. Josie's here, Josie Cat, right next to the camera where she didn't want to be, which you should want to be because you look wonderful as always. Josie, you want to say hello to the Dark Minions out there?
I'm surprised you said that. Hello, Dark Minions.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure I'll have some smart-ass comments for you before. Not insults, no. Because, we got some old friends.
The insults haven't started flying yet.
Not yet, but we'll see. This is a show 2 months in the making because the band is back together. Society 1 is back together. Right next to you.
Almost the classic lineup. Very close.
Oh, well...
This is a big deal, dude. I don't know if you realize.
No, I realize that. We're going to talk about that. But just talking right there is
kind of a big deal.
Sin Curran, who apparently I've messed up his name every time he's been on the show.
Do you want to hear the correct pronunciation of my last name? You're never going to get it. It's Gideen.
Gideen.
Yeah.
And I was saying Quirin.
Yeah, everybody butchers my name, but yeah. It's
I like Curran because that's Curran is. It's kind of goth. So.
Yeah, it's easy, whatever.
Yeah, and next to him, the auteur of such great movies as Put It in Reverse 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, boy.
In Your Face 9, Ass Lovers 1 and 2, and the lead singer, and he's got a lot of stuff going on. His lordship, you know him, you love him, Matt Zane.
Not the Lord Zane.
Not the Lord. Excuse me, your lordship. Pardon me, your lordship.
You messed his name up. Now you messed my name up.
Matt Zane, and anyway, Mr. Sakari, whatever you want, whatever you go by.
You're gonna go with the real name. Thanks a lot.
Yes,
dude.
I'm sorry.
You sorry.
No. His name.
That's fucked up.
Well, it's interesting because I was on Audible.com and I looked up Matt Zane, and I got a lot of Zane Grey books. If you go to Audible.com and you really like Western books, who doesn't? You can get a free book. But if you like us and you like interesting other stuff, you can get stuff like. I don't know. Our old friend Sasha Grey has her book on there where she reads it. It's the Juliet Society.
She have that on there?
That's on there.
Wow.
Yeah, and she reads it herself. 8 hours of Sasha Grey.
I can just call her and she can read it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I can do that. I'm able to do that. What do you think of that?
Woohoo!
There you go.
High five.
But David J is the one that brought her in the studio, not you. So I don't know.
I was sick. I was dying.
You were. We're going to talk about that. Also, I put in Sin, and of course I got Forgotten Sins, the Sin Brothers, Book 1. I don't even know what that is, but 7 Deadly Sins, settling the argument between Bored Bad and Damaged Good by Corey Taylor from Slipknot, narrated by Corey Taylor. They got everything. They got a book called Get Another Cock for Cat, K-A-T. Get whatever you want.
Just for me.
Just for you. Go to audibletrial.com/darkmarkshow or just go to darkmarkshow.com. Click on my smiley face. Get a free book and... there's erotic and sexuality. There's all sorts of stuff. And you can cancel anytime within 30 days. You still keep the book. Bound for Sin, 3 stories of wicked temptation, succubus, wet nurse, and charity begins from Pleasure Bound by Susan Swan. Now, that sounds like something we would like to listen to in the car while we're on tour, right? Anyway, we're also brought to you by Damatease.com. Damatease.com, who makes Society 1 t-shirts.
I'm actually wearing a Damatease.
That is a Damatease Return of the Living Dead t-shirt.
Yes.
Damatease has got great shirts. You were on the website. They've got great shirts, horror shirts, punk
Awesome
shirts. Just everything. They got porn star shirts. They got Frankenhooker shirts. They got 2-Bay Army shirts.
Tracy Lord shirts?
They do have Tracy Lord shirts, yeah. They have
Is that a request?
I'll have to check it out, yeah.
Yeah, they have Tracy Lord shirts.
To make that happen.
Well, if you're going to order a Tracy Lord's t-shirt from Damatease, put in that you heard it on the Dark Mark Show, and you'll get 10%. You say you were on the Dark Mark Show, they might take it away, but you'll get 10% off any shirts.
They'll add 10%.
They'll add 10% to your purchase, but yes, go to Damatease.com. They got great shirts, and I want to thank everybody who went to see me at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, including Josie Cat, who finally saw my stand-up comedy. After how long have we known each other?
Well, I see you all the time.
Well, you never see me do stand-up unless I'm introducing your band, which you have me do.
I never see you do stand-up.
You cajole me to do every time. Actually, Matt brought me on stage last Wednesday because there was some sort of feedback problem, and I wasn't really prepared.
Some sort of feedback problem. There was a lot more than that.
Well, we'll talk about that.
And I was a little disappointed you didn't bust out some jokes while you were up there.
It's funny because I literally walked in the door.
You did. You
totally clammed up.
I totally clammed up. I did. I apologize. I literally walked in the door. I wasn't ready to go on stage, and because in retrospect, I could have done a whole thing. Even not even do jokes, but hype up the crowd. You know, were you ready to
We
rock?
needed
All that stuff.
something.
Instead, you just stood there.
I just stood there. I wasn't.
During the
I literally
headlights.
walked in the door, and you're like, "Come on stage." I'm like, "What?
We
You
had
know?"
amps like breaking down and shit. And
Yeah.
like, we're like, you're up there and you just stood there and took pictures.
Yeah.
Well, I was very photogenic. And
You're supposed to no, you were taking pictures of the crowd.
well, I wasn't taking pictures of the crowd. That wasn't me.
No,
I did not take pictures of the crowd.
That was some other big guy.
He's standing up there and I'm whispering in his ear like stuff to say. 'cause
Yeah,
he's not
say
saying nothing.
we're going to be on the show.
Kill some time.
I'm sorry, I fucked up. Next time you bring me on stage at Society One show, it's probably never. I will make sure and be prepared. I literally walked in the door.
We're
Now here's the
never
thing.
bringing
Now
you up on stage
Sin's back in
again.
the band, and I will talk about my show and Josie's show later. And you actually saw Josie perform for the first time a few weeks ago.
I did?
Kind of.
Oh, I did.
He was in the back.
That's how memorable it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the
saw
band
me
is
playing
back
on a
together.
bar.
Sin is here. You were supposed to. This show literally was supposed to happen 2 months ago on May 10th. And thank you for Johnny Scott Gramercy, who does Neighborhood Love and has the deep voice, and we love him because he filled in for you. And he's in the studio with Matt James, so he probably got five words in edgewise, but. It
I
was
saw
cool
the
of him
show,
to
actually.
It was cool of him to substitute.
Yeah.
It was a real nice thing to do. But what happened was you had a really bad health scare.
Yeah. Long story short, I had a kidney stone and there were complications. I went to get it removed, with the laser surgery, and I instead went into septic shock and almost died the second day in the hospital. So
Right.
But-
It wasn't of nerves because you were coming on my show. It was because, yes.
no, I've had stones before and I've passed them fine, but this was a 9mm stone, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, you're not going to pass this." So I needed that surgery.
Like a bullet, 9mm, like that.
Yeah.
Really?
I swear.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I've had
so
gallstones. They're painful.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just complications from the surgery, or
There were complications during the surgery. It was supposed to take like an hour and a half,
Right.
and I woke up like 7 hours later, and I was in excruciating pain, and they took me back to the hospital because this was done at this sort of outpatient center.
Right.
And the second day, my fever was at 105, and
Right.
my heart rate was like over 200, and I almost died that second day in the hospital.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
But you're back. I was good to
I'm
see you back in good health, and
better than ever.
Right. And of course, they used an extra large catheter
They
for you.
did. Oh,
And
that sucked, dude. Don't even. Oh, it's the worst, dude. I had a stent and a catheter in at the same time.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
It sucked,
the
dude.
funny thing about it is that when we played the last show with him, my brother came to the show and he's standing at the bar, and Sin saw him.
Right.
Oh, my brother saw Sin, and he's like, "Sin, man, dude, it's really good to
True
see
story.
you, dude. I heard about what happened, man. I'm really glad that you're okay. How you feeling?"
Right.
And Sin, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm feeling great," he goes, "Dude, man, my dick is doing great. I'm dropping like double loads,
I really am.
dude."
So the dick is healed fine.
It's healed.
The Bush Bazooka is
Dude,
back.
It is phenomenal. It's better than ever. But,
Really?
But it's true
better
because
than
when
ever.
I ran into
I need to
when
get some kidney stones.
When I ran into Matt's brother,
We need
I
a
was
show
telling
just
him
for his
this
cock.
because,
Just
like,
its own
Hold
show.
on.
because now I am like, dude, it's double loads for everybody. Because it's like I don't know what happened. It's like
It was
I got
just
a
single
third
loads
nut now
before,
or
or?
something. No, I always did well, but now it's just like
Right.
it's a complete glazed donut now. Like it's
Right.
crazy, dude.
Right.
As he covers my
As he
face.
covers Josie's face, yeah, like a glazed donut. But and your brother is your brother, because I was looking on
Yeah,
your
he's a
IMDb.
porn star,
He's a
yeah.
porn star.
Yeah.
So he's not exactly.
But he came home and he was kind of offended. He's like, I wanted to ask how Sin was. And he started telling me about his dick. And like, I didn't ask about your dick. I
Right.
just wanted to know like how
only-
you.
not
But
only
last
did I
time you were on the
tell
show,
him
you
about-
talked about his dick for about a half an hour.
No, I'm allowed to talk about his dick. We go way back.
You showed me a
okay?
picture of his dick on Facebook. I really didn't need to see that.
I forwarded you the picture of his crotch because you did not. You weren't a
Wasn't that
believer.
group email.
Oh no, we'll forward it to you. It's okay.
Okay, thanks.
I actually almost used that as Sin's picture for tonight's show.
should have.
Oh,
Yeah,
now you
hello.
tell me. I didn't know.
Hey, what-
Sometimes
dude,
you're
listen, what do
sensitive. I don't know.
care? Oh, please.
I don't know.
Come on.
Because
It's
you
me.
were like, I don't want to talk about my dick the whole show.
When
Because
did
you
I
got a lot.
say that?
I think you did say that. You said
I've
that.
never said
Oh, okay.
No.
never
Sin
said
just,
that.
I think what he was insinuating, and I was copied in the email. He also wanted to make sure that we touched on everything else.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in
No, because-
Society One and
because we
ministry
just
and
don't
everything
touch
else.
on
Mr.
his
Dark
cock.
Mark,
Yes.
the last time he was here, you know.
I interrupted him a lot.
No, he didn't get to even promote The Bridge, the movie. He didn't get to promote a lot.
Which we're going to.
nothing.
Most of the stuff.
Yeah, like, so we got on the show and I called him up. I'm like, bro, what happened to all? He's like, dude. So
You know what happened
That's
is I
why.
had an hour's sleep. I've had more sleep, and I'm going to let you guys talk.
But yeah, when we bring you up on stage, you clam up.
Yeah,
That's
but
when I clam up.
Exactly.
When we're
Yeah,
supposed to
it is.
talk,
Yeah.
you don't let us talk.
I
That's not
know.
the same board up that was here the last time.
No, that's Mindy.
No,
Mindy's
that's
here.
Mindy. She's-
Mindy was here
she's-
last time Matt was
hey.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Jenny was here last time you were
Was
here.
that Jenny? Okay.
That was Jenny. So it's
Jenny and Mindy.
Jenny and Mindy, yes.
She's a great drummer, too.
Jenny's a drummer. She's got a band called Dangerously Sleazy,
I'm the drummer.
and she apparently tours with a bunch of guys that get hard-ons and jerk off at rest stops. But that's
I
all,
jerk off at rest stops. I kick them out of the van.
Okay, well, anyway, enough of you, Mindy. So anyway, Society One. So you're in the hospital, and all these things are going on with Society One. Now, we got Matt's side of the story, how you got back into Society One. What is your take on it? Tell us the story.
It actually had to do with his brother. I ran into his brother at this like a porn award,
Yeah, it
sex
was. It was a
award
porn-
show or
sex
something.
awards.
At the which
What's
I
the
wasn't
name of
even
your brother?
supposed to.
What's your brother's name?
Mark Zane.
I wasn't even supposed to be there, but I ended up going. And
With a porn star?
no, I went with a producer, an old producer of mine, when I had a radio show.
Right,
And,
Sid and Santa's.
No,
Is that
no,
the one?
no, that's
Oh,
not us. With
I mispronounced her name now.
Paige Montgomery. Anyways, so I ended up going with her, and we're just hanging out. We're like the only two non-porn people in that whole building.
Right.
And after the show, there was
And
this,
you had the biggest dick.
I don't know, and I doubt it. And then, so we're at the after party upstairs at the Avalon, and I see Mark. I see Matt's brother, who I hadn't seen in years.
Right.
And so I'm standing there, and I see him, and I went up to him, and I said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And he was, real friendly. And I said, "Listen, whenever you see Matt, tell him I said hey."
Okay.
And that was it. Like, that was honestly it. That's what got sort of the ball rolling for this. So
Right.
it had been a long time, man, and there was just a bunch of stupid BS that was just unnecessary that went down. But
Right.
whatever.
Because I actually did a little more research on this.
Oh, boy.
And I read an old interview with Matt, and this was
really
right when the wound was fresh, I'm sure.
We're really going to go, Mark.
No. I'm just going to say, but what happened was you were in Society One, and the thing was you left to do a revolting cost. But what I was reading is that the management for Society One at the time was also the management for Ministry, and
It was the agent.
or there was an
booking
agent.
agent.
There was an agent, and then sort of. The Revolting Cost was just supposed to be a one-time thing. You're supposed to go back to Society One, and then
correct.
communication got lost, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what
Yeah.
happened. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm gonna say.
It is really what happened. And in retrospect, just to really put it out there, there were some issues between us, but quite honestly, a lot of it just came from the agent.
Right, yeah.
There was a lot of issues. I mean, he
was sort of the middleman between us, and that actually caused a lot of bullshit because it wasn't him and I that were actually communicating. It was I was hearing shit from him, he was hearing shit from him, and that's how things just got kind of fucked up.
So when I was saying, Al Jurgensen stole your band, it seems like this agent was sort of like taking the band and sort of drifting it over.
No, because he didn't have any control over. Al chose who he wanted to be in the band. When I said, when we were on the thing, obviously, Al's going to do whatever he wants, but of course he had to ask them to be in the band. But he didn't steal anybody. If he liked the way that Sim played, he liked the way Raven played. He knew him. Yeah, of course he asked for them to be in his band, but did he do it like, I'm going to steal this dude's band? No, that's not what happened. But he had to ask him. How else is he going to be in Ministry?
Exactly.
He had to ask him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
So it's not the agent didn't get him in the fucking band.
Right.
It was Al.
Okay, but I mean, didn't maybe the agent recommended you, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, he was the one that initially introduced me to Al.
But
we're all going to kick the agent's ass. That's what's going to happen.
Not to give the agent all the credit, also, but once he introduced our old bass player, Paul
Raven was the one that
Raven,
had. He actually had more to do with it.
Okay, so Paul recommended you, and
just because Paul he was in Society One for a while.
We did a record together,
a record with him. So.
Which is your most famous record.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And until this new stuff comes out, the best. Now, you've been recording with Society One? Have you, because I know you were recording before Sin was in the band.
Well, they were working on stuff before I came back into the fold. So now what we're going to do is just work on new material.
Okay.
So
and I don't want to start trouble, and I don't want you to speak for someone that's not here, but the current guitarist of Society One, what does he think?
Bo?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, dudes, and I don't want to embarrass Sin, but dude, seriously, think of it this way.
I'm just curious.
Here's a guy. Okay, he's a good dude, but here's a guy that the extent of his career thus far has been one tour his entire life, and he's not as young as you think. He just looks really great, and
he's dreamy.
He gets an opportunity now to stand next to a guy that not only was in Society One and did all the big records and all the big tours.
Right.
two-time Grammy-nominated
yes.
guitar player for Ministry for 9 years. Wouldn't you be excited?
Absolutely.
I mean, he's of course.
I'm sure, but I'm sure there's mixed emotions though.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
He's psyched.
don't
No, you want to bring, when you're in a band, you want to pull in.
But think of it this way: when Sin had to play next to Raven and I had to play next to her, you don't think that him and I were happy to play next to Raven? Raven was even a legend at that point in time.
Absolutely.
You know? And you don't think that he was happy when he had to go stand next to Al?
Sure.
Really, what Bo's doing standing next to Sin is it's the same thing.
Right. It elevates everybody.
It elevates him. It gets more. And Sin has helped him get his sponsorship. And he's working on some amp stuff for him.
Right.
And you have an opportunity to learn and get shown the ropes.
Absolutely.
He's totally psyched about it.
Speaking of sponsorships, now, while you were in the hospital, your distortion pedal, your signature distortion pedal came out.
Yeah.
How weird was that?
It was very weird. I mean, that was actually, you know what, one of the sort of bright things during that whole period, because I was like really down in the dumps.
That's got to be months, if not years in the making, right?
Yeah, that started last year, and the fact that Protones came to me and said, "Hey, you know what? We want to help with your hospital bill," and they actually rushed the release of the pedal and the pre-orders and all that stuff because of what happened to me.
Wow.
So, you know, when they were like emailing me all this stuff, like it kind of put a smile on my face when I was in the hospital, because it was pretty grim there for a while.
So what is the company and how do people order the pedal?
It's called Protone Pedals.
And what makes this pedal different? What did you want?
Well, we actually got the sounds from the last 5-6 albums that I did with Ministry and with the Revolting Cocks, and they basically just mimicked the exact tone, distortion that I used on some of those songs. Some of the new Ministry stuff is to talk a little technical. It's tuned down. It's in like either drop D or drop C.
Right.
Older Ministry stuff is in standard tuning. Now the new stuff, in order to keep that clarity, you have to have a certain type of distortion, so you can still hear the notes clearly, and that's what this pedal does, because it's what I did. It's what I used in the studio for songs like Double Tap and Let's Go. And
so did you modify an old pedal that you had?
It was basically Protone sent me a pedal early on years ago, and I basically had them tweak that pedal to my liking, and that's what I ended up using in the studio, and that's what they've now
And the pedal's called it's
just called the Sin Distortion pedal.
Sin Distortion pedal. And where do people order that?
Protones.com.
Protones.com.
Yeah,
well, that's
I think
great.
It's Protone Pedals. ProtonePedal.com. Yeah.
And you're gonna be using that pedal on the Society One stuff too.
Sure.
Right. And more exciting news. And Matt's always got exciting news coming on. Now you're gonna be a comic book hero? Is that what's going on?
Here we go with the hero thing again.
No hero.
Okay, you're going to be in a comic book. I don't know what you're going to be in a comic book, but I mean, when I say you're going to be a protagonist or antagonist in a comic book,
he's a villain.
No, we have a comic book coming out, and it's art. We just released the cover, I think, a couple days ago.
Right.
We have the picture of it somewhere that you could possibly show.
Can we show that? Mindy's showing it right now.
Okay.
It's right there if you want to see on the screen.
I thought she was
not on this screen, but see the little
bathroom.
Okay.
No, she's right there. See the No Salvation. We can't really see the pictures in here, and then when this plays the video, the same thing will happen.
Yeah.
But you can see No Salvation.
Yeah.
So tell me about No Salvation, because Comic-Con's coming up. So
yeah, I don't really know if we'll be there or whatever, but it's
come on.
It's a comic book. It's based around the band. It's a Society One inspired comic. The name of the comic is called No Salvation. All the band is in it. I'm introduced in the first one. Sin's introduced in the second, and Dirt in the third. And it's basically a comic about, again, and it's going to sound very trite in a sense because it's really big right now, but it's something I've always wanted to do. The comic is about a zombie apocalypse.
Look at that smile.
But here's the thing. And this is intellectual.
Never get old.
This is intellectual property already. The reason why this zombie apocalypse in this world is different than any that has ever come before it is that the way that people turn into zombies is through an airbound pathogen. Okay, and what happens is that some people actually get sick and die and immediately become zombies from the air pathogen.
Right.
And then other people die and then become zombies. But the people that don't die, that live with it as a carrier, it actually causes hallucinations at any given moment that is very similar to that of the root datura, which is the most insane hallucinogen there is.
Right.
So you're running around
have
fighting
you had
zombies.
that?
Yes, I've experienced. I've done it. And so everybody's running around having the zombie trying to survive in the zombie world. But then at any given moment, you can start having these crazy hallucinations and stuff like that.
So did you write this, or did you write this with somebody?
I had the concept, and I had the idea, and then I'm working with a guy right now, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Dominic. Do you know how to pronounce his last name?
I don't.
Dominic Vaselos. You have to look at my page because I try to give him credit because we're doing it together. He's doing all the amazing artwork.
It's Dominic.
No, he's German, I think.
Okay.
And
Some dude.
Yes.
I had this concept, and I'm basically writing out the outlines, and I'm giving it to him, and he's doing the sketches and actually writing the dialogue and so on and so forth. So that's why this universe is different than all the other zombie universes. And for anybody that, again, this is my intellectual property, so don't think about ripping this off, or I will sue you.
And there's no Brad Pitt in this one.
There's no Brad Pitt.
No. That's just
so you're a fan of zombies, correct?
Of course.
So you've never heard of that twist before, being the fact that if you're a carrier, you hallucinate within the zombie world.
I have
Exactly.
not.
See that?
You've heard it here.
You heard it first. So people are hallucinating that there's zombies around, even if there's not zombies around.
Well, you can hallucinate anything. That's the whole point.
Right.
So people.
What did you hallucinate when you were on this?
Well, I don't want to give away the series.
Okay. Okay.
Because
So the first series is a real life experience.
it's not a real life experience. It's just we introduced the kind of rules of this zombie world in the first, and we introduced my character, and then when I fall out into the city when it's happening, I happen to run into Sin because we played a show the night before.
Do you have
Okay.
a zombie in the band?
No. So the whole deal with the thing is like the name of the band is Society One.
Right.
And when the comic opens, it's Society One as a band.
Right.
But then further along, when we regroup with me and Sin and Dirt, Society One takes on a new name because we become the new society within the zombie apocalypse. You see, so it's a whole thing that's really thought out, man.
Society 2.
Well, no, it's still Society One, but people come to learn of us in a different way. They knew us from the old world,
Right.
but. So, anyways, that's the basic gist of it. I'm really psyched about it, and
That's
the
cool,
fact
yeah.
that I finally saw the cover, and I've seen some of the other pages. It's
No, the artwork is stunning. The artwork,
It's
what
great.
I've seen
Yeah,
is
it's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
And when's that coming out?
We're hoping to have the first one out in about 2 to 3 months. Again, it's hard to tell because it's just me and another guy right now, and we're making them short in the beginning. It's only gonna be like 10 pages to start with.
Right.
And we just want to see if people.
Well,
buy
that's good because that's all Josie can handle in one sitting.
Yeah.
She's not a big reader.
Yeah.
Just pictures,
Yeah,
please.
a lot of pictures of Matt with his shirt off. So that
And
I think
Sin
can
and his
handle.
bulging crotch. I have to send him.
Exactly.
Well, here's the weird thing I was going to ask.
10
'Cause
pages
You don't
full.
see a lot of pictures,
Please.
if any, of Sin with his shirt off.
What? Dude,
And you're
look
not-
at me.
you're not in
Why
bad
would
shape.
why
No,
would
I'm
I
just
take
saying.
my shirt off.
No, but
when this
but-
guy's in the band.
No, I was looking at looking at Society One stuff. Trying to get the dirt, which there's some that I can
Dirt,
see.
our bass player.
No, exactly. But there's tons of pictures of Matt Zane with his shirt off, and he's in great shape. But you're in great shape too.
Now, remember when we played in our underwear?
Yes.
That one.
Yeah.
And you played naked. You used to play naked. You used to sing naked.
Kinda.
Sort of.
Yeah.
You were notorious. I mean, you were notorious for that, right?
Yeah. At certain points of the show.
Right.
Yes, kinda. Yeah.
I'm glad I missed those shows, but
Well, that's not all we did. I don't want to get into what we did.
well, come on,
Come
it's
on.
a
Now
Society
you
One
opened
show.
the door. What else did you do?
Should I? I
Go
should.
ahead.
Yes,
Come
yes,
on.
you should. Yes, you should. You better.
Yes, you should. You have to.
We were doing a
You
show.
said worse on this.
Sen and I were doing a show once, and who were we on tour with? Was it the guys from? It was decent sized bands for the time. What was it? Primer 55.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think Dope was on that tour also. And so these guys back in the late 90s were doing really well. They were selling some records. So, we're a new band at that point. And
Right.
so we come on, and we do our whole thing. And I'm not going to get into all the crazy shit that we did. But the band's really they used to watch our shows with their jaws would just drop to the floor because they couldn't believe half the shit that we were doing. So
Right.
one time we had a really crazy idea, and we were up on stage, and this was in the beginning of the tour, and Bobby's like back at the bar, the drink things, and he's this is the lead singer, the guitar player for
Right.
Primer 55, and he's talking up some chicks, and I don't know how Sin and I got this idea, but there was this point in the show where I turned around and I dropped my pants down around my ankles, right? And then I bent over and grabbed my ankles, and I'm
Right.
bending over naked to the crowd. And I'm not saying he really did this, but we made it appear that
Was this
Sin-
for acoustic purposes?
No,
or-
this
oh.
was just I don't know what the fuck we were doing. And Sin dropped to his knees, and then he stuck his tongue out, and it looked like he was tonguing my asshole on stage, right?
Right.
And as soon as that happened, all the other guys in the band, they almost broke their necks for how quick they turned around and like just dropped their drinks. And they just at that point thought that we were really like fucking just like they didn't even understand what they were seeing.
You guys were
They crossed over.
You were licking his ass or miming it.
Well, people thought it was
wait, but you were playing guitar at the same time.
Yes, he was, yeah.
If you got that distortion pedal, these are the things that you can do. You can have superhuman powers.
Yeah. But the funny part about that story is that later in the tour, it got even worse because eventually I would get over and I would fall over on stage and Sin got up behind me at one and he started humping me on stage. Like,
with his enormous genitalia.
And that's the problem. It's like... Like he used to fake doing it back there when we were like really going through our crazy days. But when he used to fake hump me, he'd really hump me, and I'd feel his bulge press into
it's
my.
It's tough to fake that.
Yeah,
fake a thrust.
I felt very violated every evening on stage. It was a difficult thing for me to handle.
Right.
But people were really
and yet
he's
back
in the band.
Yeah, people were very confused.
I didn't see any humping last week, but maybe at the whiskey show. Okay,
I'm
too old.
Because you are, according to crack.com, the #2 most irresponsibly badass live rock show of all time.
Us. And they gave us for that when Sin was in the we're number 2. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Actually, the #1 active band, well, the Germs, I guess, sort of tours, but Germs were #1. But the Society 1 was #2.
Yeah, we beat Rammstein and
Gigi Allen wasn't even on the list. It was weird. Yeah, Rammstein. There was a lot of
no Gigi Allen.
No Gigi Allen.
What?
Yeah, but you've got to understand something. Can I tell you why?
He's shit on stage.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Anybody can shit on stage. How many people can suspend from hooks?
Well, but if you shit when you were suspended on the hook, now that would be something.
Well,
that would be expected.
No, but anyway, I don't even want to talk about all that because you got new music. Mm-hmm. Now, did Sin play on this track in the studio or he's in the video?
Which one are you playing?
The new video.
The new video.
Yeah. You're in the video.
Yes, he's in the video.
And you were still recovering, and you said that the girls were helping you stay up.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had them there.
No, because everybody's got. Well, actually, Matt's by himself.
Yeah,
but
my girlfriend was there, who I got back together with since
so you're back with Christina?
Yeah. Do you know him and Christina are actually really good friends? They've known each other for like 7 years.
Christina's the one that first time you weren't here as the female presence. So
I know the story though.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but all the guys have like a girl that they're sort of on. You'll see it, but Sin's got 2 or 3.
I saw the video.
Yeah, I know you did. And so I'm trying to explain for the audience who may not have seen the video, who are just about to see the video. Mm-hmm. I'm not just doing the show for you, Josie. There's a whole worldwide audience in Russia, Australia, Korea that's watching this show, and Los Angeles, all over the place. Please call us at 1-800-893-9562 so Josie knows that this show's not just for her. Is the video ready?
And all this time.
Okay, we're going to play and the song is called again?
It's Yours Now.
It's Yours Now. Here's Society 1's video for It's Yours Now.
Wait.
Go ahead, before you play it.
First video with Sin in 9 years.
Mm-hmm. This is the first interview with Sin in 9 years.
Well, with us together. You just interviewed him a couple months ago.
Right. Well, play the video, Gundy.
Oh, there we go.
back?
Yeah, I was trying to play some clapping sounds because that's.
Oh.
I think that. So you directed that yourself, man.
Yeah, I did.
Lordship.
I did it as well.
So you directed yourself spinning around and all that stuff.
I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
But you know how to lay. I mean, that's a really good looking video. I wish MTV still played videos. They would play something like that.
Yeah, that probably could have been on Headbangers Ball.
It says 16 and pregnant.
Yeah, Headbangers Ball used to play our videos, so they would have played that one.
So here's what I was going to ask is now in the 90s you had a very high profile.
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s, and you were hanging out. You were in the zeitgeist with all the bands. Like, why do you think like Marilyn Manson, Korn, these other bands that I'm sorry I said Korn.
They're having a private conversation
I'm
over
sorry.
here.
Yes,
Should we talk
Well,
more?
you didn't ask your question.
Well, here's the question: why do you think these bands in the 90s, and you were certainly in that genre, became famous and you didn't? I'm just asking.
Why?
Why? Yes, exactly.
Sin, you want to take this one or what?
I wasn't listening.
He wasn't.
What was the question?
Okay. Now, your style of music was. I mean, the late 90s, early 2000s. You were right in with the bands like Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, Korn.
Yeah.
Slipknot. A lot of bands and I had heard Society One and Matt, you're on MTV, you're on VH1.
Can I just ask him? He's saying we were very famous. We were on I remember all the VH1 shows, and we were in all our contemporaries. Why didn't we become as famous as Korn and Marilyn Manson?
Well, towards the end of our run, we were definitely right up there. Our last record, I don't even know if we should talk about our last. Can we talk about the last record label?
Anyways, I'll stop you if it gets into the
long
issue.
story short,
was it a record label thing?
Well, we had just come off our most successful tour.
Right.
We just played the Download Festival, you know, and that's where he did the Suspension show. I mean, broke all
still
kinds of
legendary,
records.
still talked about to this day.
Coming off of that, our record label decides to not pick up the option for the next album.
Okay.
So we're basically without a label at that point. And I think that was, that had a lot to do with us losing that kind of momentum.
But maybe my question was, did the majors pursue you? And if they didn't, why not?
Well, we definitely talked to people. I think at the time, we did CBGBs in '99, and Monty Connor came down.
For them.
That was a showcase for Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them were really kind of nervous. I can't speculate too much about it. I mean, we had. Correct me if you remember more than I do, but I mean, people were really, really nervous about what we were. I mean, listen, Marilyn Manson.
Was it a Columbine thing? Was it?
No, man.
I think music was going through some changes at that time too.
We seemed to I don't know, but we seemed to push a lot of buttons,
right?
Which we did on purpose,
right.
What
I'm saying is hard rock was in the mainstream at that time.
Yes.
It was played on radio.
Yes.
And now it's pop. It's not even,
I get what you're saying. It's just it's a confusing thing, and it was confounding to us as well at the time. But in retrospect, looking back, I really think a lot of it just had to do with how. To a certain extent, how extreme we really were. Because you got to remember, the band, what was famous before the band, before Sin was Sin for Ministry, and before everything, it was the porn stuff.
Right.
And that's a lot to swallow initially before it's as mainstream as this is before Dave Navarro was making movies.
Sasha Grey was
Sasha Grey. This is
yeah.
before everything, all of that, and it was kind of frightening. I think a lot of people, and I talked to the majors. I knew a lot of them. Sin was with me, Yep. It's just it was just one of those things where I think a lot of them didn't want to.
Now you changed with the times.
You gotta, and the bands that you mentioned, I mean, that were big, popular at the time. I mean, they weren't suspending. They weren't licking each other's asses on stage.
Right.
We were doing some crazy shit back then.
And not only that, they weren't causing riots. I mean, we were having riots at some of our shows. Some of them were on tape.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I would think some record label would be like, well, obviously something's going on. There's a reaction here. I mean, I was reading a review where you said people would run up and punch you in the face because you were naked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy stuff. There was crazy shit that went on back then.
And I understand if I went naked, why people would do that. But I don't understand why if you were naked, why people would do that. But I think and you've changed with the times. I saw there's some YouTube clip where you and Kelly Clarkson trashed a house. I don't even know what that's all about.
Yeah, well, that was for a reality show. Sin was in it too.
What reality show is this?
It never came out.
It's
part of the reason. Like people, whenever I got involved with things, and Sin was part of that.
You killed Kelly Clarkson's career?
Yeah, pretty much. That clip that you saw, that's not even.
I didn't see it. I didn't even see it. I just saw. I want to see it. I just.
They get it taken down every hour.
Is it?
What's that?
It's not even supposed to be out.
It's not even supposed.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
I know.
Wow.
I stole it and I put it up on a hidden link. I almost got sued over that like 6 times. Until finally people don't care anymore, and then I just finally got it up there like a couple months ago.
I gotta watch it before it gets taken down during the show. But
there was, Mark. Everybody wants to say they want to have some excuse why their band didn't do this or do that, and they say the industry, they say this, they say that. Everybody has an excuse. And listen, ultimately, if a major label wanted us, they would have given us the money, and that's the bottom line. But why they didn't, we know some of the reasons. Some of them we can talk about openly. Some of them we cannot. We have specific things that happen with specific labels and specific people. But what it boils down to, for the most part, is that as extreme as everybody thought everybody was at that time, we were really the
real deal.
We're talking about riots and suspensions and porno and and stuff like that.
You were too extreme for the majors.
Yeah, I think that to a certain extent, Torturers went through the same thing.
Right.
But the difference was that was all a show.
Right.
Our show never ended. There was a real aspect of danger at our shows. I mean, there was times when we had a run from Flint, Michigan once because a specific bike gang called the Iron Coffins were literally chasing us out of the town.
Really?
True story.
And we had to take refuge with a rival bike gang in the town next door to be able to survive from the show that we just played. That really happened, So you got to understand
being arrested.
How do you take refuge with a rival? How were you able to pull that off?
Because the rival bike gang was friends with the promoter for the next show that we were going to play. And we have stories like that. We could dedicate an entire hour just to all the times when we had to try to escape the law and so on.
Now you're telling me
forth.
15 minutes left in the show.
Well, listen, Sin once said something in a documentary of ours that came out, that was out briefly, and he goes, I knew that something was going on. And this is one of my favorite quotes he ever said. And he goes, when I realized we weren't necessarily rock stars anymore, we were outlaws.
Right.
And that's really what happened. And when that really happens and labels can't differentiate between a show versus these guys really just being out of their minds,
right.
It's a liability.
Especially after Kurt Cobain. He kind of changed things as far as I don't know. A bad image.
Anyway, I don't want to get into the whole why didn't it happen then. In 2014, there's a juggernaut happening. Society One is coming back. I mean, when we had you with January 2nd, you said all these things were happening, and now you got Sin back. You got the comic book. What does Society One have to offer people in 2014? That's a great song. Tell me.
Well, I mean, we have a 2-time Grammy-nominated crotch monster in the back in the band.
And by the way, crotch monster, are you teaching in the Grammy Museum now?
Not yet. That's supposed to start in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, Sin's back in the band. We've always written some great songs together, and people are genuinely excited about it. And he brings a lot of attention and a lot of his own fans, and it's like almost supercharged.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean,
so that's one thing.
Because rock's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you went to a party and Sin and Matt are hanging out, and like Mumford and Sons and the Black Keys are walking around, you're like, point out the rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna point right to you guys, not Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
Who the hell are Mumford and Sons?
Well, Josie's very out of touch. If the Arcade Fire, Mumford and Sons are a Grammy-winning. They have #1 albums. They're one of the biggest bands around.
Yeah. Look, I think
I'm not bagging on them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I
mean, they're good musicians, but they're not rock stars. You guys are rock stars.
Yeah. Look, as far as what the band has to offer now, obviously it's changed. We're older now, and so on and so forth. We're live first and foremost. We're a live band. We're writing. We play rock, which is an anomaly almost unto itself now.
Right.
And it's just good music with a great performance still. That performance aspect of it is still intact.
And I can attest to that because I've seen it.
And you've seen it. And a lot of people just don't have that anymore, and they don't really know what that is even. So, I mean, just for the mere fact of that, of being able to go to a show and be able to witness that, and in conjunction with the music, is just something. It's enough now. It really is. I mean, we play, and people come see the show, and they go, "Wow, I haven't seen anything like that." In comparison compared to our old days, we don't do anything, but it's still enough where people are going, what?
No, you guys definitely put on an amazing live show. And I mean, you're not suspending, you're not eating each other's asses, but I mean, you're doing. There's a lot of stage work going on. You're definitely aware of the audience. And Matt, I have to do this because our new fan Dean would hate me if I didn't do this. But there's also an update on Ministry. Ministry's live DVD just came out this week that you're on.
Yep. And
you're touring again. Ministry's touring again.
Yeah, next year.
Great timing, huh, man?
Well, listen, we've discussed it already. That's why we have that extra guitar bow in the band. Sin is in the band from now on. If he has to go tour with Ministry, he goes tour with Ministry. Then he hops right back in.
That was my question.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
So it's going to be 2015, not 2014?
Yeah, it's looking more like 2015.
Because I saw a picture of Al with your mother, and he looked great.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Because your mother's beautiful. So anybody that takes pictures next to her,
she's also doing amazing. But it's looking more like the tour is going to happen in 2015. But I mean, Ministry's never been a band that tours like year round. Like Ministry, like we'll do like 4 to 6 weeks in the States, and then we'll be off for a while, and then we'll go to Europe for like a month and a half, and then we're off for a while. So.
Festival season.
Yeah, we'll be able to work it out.
Okay,
seriously, during festival season, there may be some opportunities there where Sim pulls double duty.
Which we're actually working on something.
I've already had meeting just last week with a very reputable. I can even say that they're with Artery Global over there. So, and we're already talking about possibly getting over there during the festivals at the same time that Ministry would be there. So
that'd be great.
Yeah. It's all.
So there's no conflict here.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
No. What he's got to go do. Listen, if Lady Gaga called him to go play guitar, he's got to go fucking do it. It's like we love this band and we love what we're doing.
Right.
But yeah, he can go. The band is set up a little different. I think also part of the issue back in the day was the fact that when Sin had to go do that stuff, we ended up having to kind of sit around a bit because we were waiting on it. But now it's just set up differently. He can come in and definitely be there when it's time to be there. And then if he has to go do his other stuff, which is going to be inevitable, the guy has a career.
Right.
Then he just steps out for a bit. We just keep going with the same exact lineup.
Right.
And as soon as he's free again, he can hop back in. It works perfectly. And we had to do that already when he had to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Right.
So it worked fine. That's kind of the understanding now. But he does what he's got to do.
Okay.
You can't expect. Oh yeah, you're back at the band. Don't have a career anymore, Sin. It's not. It's not going to happen.
There might be another Ministry album.
Oh, I don't know. At this point, honestly, I don't know.
Right. You're just hanging out with the guy the other night. You don't know.
No, I don't know because we haven't talked about doing another Ministry record. The only thing we've talked about is the tour. And
I've had you in 3 times, and I've every time I forgot to ask you. So
not inside you.
No, because you on the final tour that you did with Ministry, and this is the DVD that's out. This is apparently the show that Al passed out on. Is that correct?
There's confusion on this. The DVD is called Last Tangle in Paris.
Right.
But the show, the DVD has nothing to do with the show in Paris. It's all filmed at the Vic Theater in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So it's not the Paris show. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the Paris show. But if you know anything about Ministry, like they always use these funny titles, like House of the Mole and Last Sucker and stuff like that. So
Spoon,
yeah. So it's actually not that Paris show.
Okay, no. Good. Okay.
But it was pretty cool though. If you saw the inside of the DVD that
haven't seen it yet.
It's got Society 1 written on there next to my name.
I saw that because you posted that, Matt. That's cool.
Oh, I was totally excited.
And they've actually been. I mean, I got to hand it to you. I got to hand it to them. There's new people in control now. They're at the Ministry camp, and they're very much behind Society 1.
That's
and like they've been posting stuff on their Facebook page and getting behind this, so it's pretty cool.
And if somebody has the other live Ministry albums, why would they get this?
Well, this one has a little bit of a tribute to Mike Scoscia, who passed away.
That's who I was going to ask you about. How was it like playing with him?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The best guitar player I've ever played with, and the nicest guy in the world. He, for me, I mean, standing stage left. Next to Mikey was a big dream come true. I mean, this is the guy that did very, influential records. He did the Minus Terrible Thing. Yeah, I mean, he was there since 88, 89.
And you were with him.
So,
and the Bridge movie. You're in a movie with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard.
Yeah, the Bridge, the movie.
Who else is in that?
Ricky Warwick from the Pixies, Eddie from Twisted Sister.
It's an all-star cast.
Yeah.
And this is a coming-of-age story about a young rock star? It was about you?
No.
Do you play yourself? Or
No, we're actually all playing characters and not necessarily musicians.
Okay.
So
well, can you say what character you play?
I can't yet.
Okay.
But
is it in the can?
Does this character play
we haven't even
guitar?
started filming yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does this character play guitar? Perchance?
Mine?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So are you going to be pursuing acting in the future?
Probably
Besides
not.
this? Okay.
No, I mean, I act like a jackass every day, so I don't have to pursue it.
Right.
I just do it naturally. But yeah, the movie's called The Bridge, the movie.
When do you start
and I'm really excited.
That?
The end of this year. And that'll be out in 2015.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff. You got Society One. You got and
let's talk about the new record.
So there's my segue.
Oh,
I know you've been looking at the clock.
Yeah,
that's it for the ministry talk.
No,
Society One's got a lot of stuff going on. You've got a new record.
Yeah.
And an old compilation.
Yeah, okay. We have a show first, July 22nd at the Whiskey.
Right.
Free show, by the way.
21 and over, it's free.
And
what day is
all
that
ages
on?
show.
Tuesday.
Oh, no, Tuesday.
Yeah,
okay.
we're headlining that. But we have a unreleased B-sides album coming out on August 1st called A Collection of Lies. And it's basically what we did was we just went through, since we have this new record coming out pretty soon, Rise from the Dead, we wanted to get all the other stuff that was out released because it's kind of been like leaked here and there in bits and pieces and bootlegs and all this stuff.
Which is really good.
Right.
It's really good, by the way.
And here's the funny
part. I'm not just saying that.
No, you play on it. Are you playing some of the tracks, I would imagine, right?
Well, actually, you want to explain?
No, go ahead.
It's funny because for people that think, okay, well, whatever, I'm not going to get it because the hardcore Sin fans, he's not on it. It's actually more than half the record he actually wrote with me.
Okay.
That's how, and I went when he was no longer in the band for that period. I actually.
So is this the lost record as.
It almost is. Like over the last 9 years, whenever I had some time, I would take the songs that we wrote together and record them.
Right.
So it's actually his compositions with my lyrics. It's like we wrote it together. He just didn't actually play the part, but it's his parts. Like, for example, the song that we're going to hear at the end called I Got You.
Right.
I wrote part of it on a keyboard. I don't know if you remember this. Yeah. And I actually sent him the song, and I said, dude, could you please interpret this and write some other parts to it and stuff? And he actually did, and then he came back to me, and we wrote that song, and then it just sat around on demo form for forever until like I think 2 years ago I heard it and I was like, I'm just going to record this.
Right.
And so it's he's definitely part of it. It's just he didn't actually happen to play. Because what Sin and I used to do, what a lot of people don't realize, is we would go into the studio some days and literally 17 tracks. Just me and him. He'd play guitar, I'd play bass.
Well, you guys are like
sing.
Tupac like that.
Yeah, and a lot of those songs, after I hear them, I just, over the years, I just say, hey, I'm just going to go record this or record that. And I just decided to compile it. And then,
was Sin aware that you were recording these?
No.
Okay.
No, we weren't talking. No.
This is when we didn't really talk.
Right.
No, I didn't release them or anything.
No, I understand that, but you didn't know he was working on it.
No,
I mean, I didn't know what was, after he and I had done those initial sort of demos, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
It's funny. It was like he died and I finished.
Right.
So it was when I put it together, I actually looked at it and I emailed him.
Were you
today.
happy with the results?
Yeah. No, the sound they sound great. It's I was telling him.
Do you have a new
day,
label, or are you putting these out yourself?
For right now, we're doing everything ourselves. Just right now, just everything. The comic, the videos, the new music. Everything right now. We have an agent, Ardor Global, Daniel
Hellman. And will
Hellman.
everything be on your website, I assume? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we're just primarily doing all digital. And we have a big distributor that's getting it out to everywhere. I mean, they're getting it to the UK, to China, to Russia, everywhere.
Right. So this is all going to be on iTunes. It's going to be
everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. I mean, you name it. They get it everywhere. We even got the new video is actually going to like India, Russia, China. Right. It got I just signed the contracts the other day. But it's a cool record because I saw it and I go, dude, you're never going to believe this, but check this out. Like I know you physically didn't play, but you wrote this with me.
Right.
So he's a part of it, whether, even though he actually didn't physically play.
Right. You will get some royalties from this.
If anybody buys anything anymore.
Yeah. But that's a whole other thing we can talk about at a future day. Because
we already talked about the
Sin and I've got something cooking.
Something up our sleeve.
We got something up our sleeve, but we can't talk about it.
We were already talking about the profitable Revolting Cox royalties last time you were on the show. Because I was the only one who bought the Sexo Olympico, and I bought it used.
I'm still blown away that you got that record, dude.
I love it. That's great. So I listened to it today.
Awesome.
I like it. But and I listened to Society One today, yes. So where does the time go? When these guys start talking, you can't stop. But Matt Zane, tell us everything. What's going on? Tell us the names of the new records.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Okay. Give the whole rundown.
Brand new single, It's Yours Now. You can get that on iTunes and everywhere else.
The video we played.
You can also see the video on YouTube. And just go to our YouTube page. Just type in Society One, It's Yours Now. You'll find it. We have the new unreleased record coming out, 11 tracks. It's called A Collection of Lies. It comes out August 1st.
Okay.
We've got a show at the Whiskey A Go-Go that's free on July 22nd, headlining show at the Whiskey A Go-Go. The new comic doesn't come out for about 2 or 3 months. You can just check the website or my Facebook. It's called No Salvation, which it does feature all the bands, and Sin gets introduced in the second comic on that.
And what's the website?
Website is society1official.com. And
spelled out one? Or
yeah, just the number one. Okay. And I think that's it as far as what we have going on, right?
And Sin, what do you have going on?
The Bridge, the movie,
right,
will come out next year. The new Ministry DVD that just came out yesterday.
Tangle in Paris,
called Last Tangle in Paris.
But not in Paris.
Yeah, but it's not filmed in Paris. And
you're gonna be on the Whiskey Show?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to play the whole set or just a couple?
I'm going to try.
A couple at the end.
Yeah, I might just do the final 2 or 3 songs, but I'm slowly easing my way back into it. I don't think I could tour right now if we had a tour, to be honest with you. Even if Ministry did tour,
we actually have been offered 3 tours actually.
Yeah.
Right, just for
so
the
kind of slowly easing back into it. Yeah,
right.
It's getting better.
Right.
Check out the Distortion Pedal, protonepedals.com.
Absolutely.
I got a signature series Schecter guitar coming out. It'll be unveiled at Winter NAMM.
Oh, that's great.
January 2015.
Get that guitar plugged into the pedal, and
and
if you had talent, you'd sound like Sin Kieran. But if you don't, you'd probably sound like me.
Actually, if you don't have talent, you'll sound like me.
Really? Okay, I might have to get that. And speaking of no talent, Josie, what's going on with you?
You gotta fuck you.
Anyway, no, Josie, you got a show coming up.
The end.
You've got a show coming up.
Just Google me, Josie, Josi, Cat, K-A-T, and find my Twitter. Anyway, so there's a Carrera show coming up. At the new Whiskey Blue on Hollywood and Las Palmas.
Okay, and what's the date and the time?
Next Friday. I think it's the 18th.
So apparently Josie's not wearing a bra or underwear today. So anyway, I will be doing a show along with the other comics from our comedy lineup here at Skidrow Studios, Nestorius Public Radio, Nestor and Simon from Nestorius Public Radio, and the whole crew. Are you going to be hosting it?
I'm on the flyer, I guess so.
Well, we're going to talk to Berger about that probably next week. But all the comics from David Berger's show, all the comics from the stories, that's going to be on Sunday, July 27th, 9:30 at Inside Jokes, which is, if you're in LA, right Hollywood and Highland, right by the Chinese theater. They took one of the theaters and made a comedy club out of it. You guys, welcome to come. Come on down, enjoy some filthy comedy. And if you need anything from me, gothcomedian.com. We got 19 seconds to play some more Society One. Have a wonderfully creepy week.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.